Good, excuse me, good evening, free enterprise fans, and welcome to one of, oh my god, so many exciting matches for us to broadcast to you tonight of Free Enterprise Adamant Cup group stage between, in the Ogre Axe group, Marten Broadcloak versus Zilch 6. And I am joined here by Hupfen. Hupfen, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself, Solaris?
I am excited. I haven't been in the broadcast booth on comms in some time, and I'm real excited to do this with you. This is my group, so I guess I
So
get
you're
to do a little bit
scouting.
I'm scouting, unintentional scouting. Also, Martin's a real good friend of mine. Zilch is someone, when I joined Free Enterprise, somebody I learned a lot specifically about Free Enterprise from. Very good technical player. I think this is going to be a really fun match to watch.
Yeah, these are two great runners to observe. As you mentioned, Zilch, excellent technical runner, lots to learn from. Marten is just a pillar personality of the community, but a solid runner in his own right. And they are going to face off on an interesting set of objectives here. Harumph, our restreamer, has rolled music, as is his wont apparently, and we thank him for that. But he's also rolled a number of other objectives that these two will have to deal with.
I'm honestly always happy to see complete Cave Magnus as an objective as a runner, because there's always this question of these longer checks of like, should I do that? Well, you should, because it's an objective. Like, it just takes the decision out. It's like, just go do it. And objectives, overall, this is a pretty healthy mix of objectives. We have a good number of key items that are required. We have one moon altar. This is looking like a seed that's going to go all the way. And a Rosa start, I'm not mad about either. Rosa on this flag set, when you only have 4 max characters, I find her quite useful. She's always quite useful, but when you're pinched on party members, it's like even more so.
Yeah, she's maybe one of the characters that I most like to see early on, especially in this flag set where Cecil is a bit constrained, so you're not going to see him. But starting off with the Rosa, hey, that's your healing covered for basically the entire seed.
Healing covered, and depending on where we loot and what we find, I mean, a heroine robe is the big spike, but could even just be a decent bow and some arrows, and I mean, she could also take care of some of the damage as well. She is a low power start if she starts with someone like an Edward, and we don't have very good equipment. So, like, the opening's interesting. We'll, of course, see what happens, but yeah.
Yeah, and we will be seeing that in just a moment as these runners ready up and get rolling. As for the other objectives, the Seal Cave kind of falls in that same category as Cave Magnus. It is a long check to do, but when it's an objective, you don't have as much sweat about it. And Launch the Falcon in particular, we've seen so many hook routes so far in this event. So, yeah, we're probably going to have to do that anyway. Now we're definitely going to have to do that. Whether that's our only way underground, though, we'll have to find out as we get going. And looks like we do have some power as we have Edge. Just Stardust coming from Odin, but a decent pull on that starter kit. And hey, we have a ninja. We've got some physical prowess out of the gate.
This is a really interesting start. First of all, love starting with Edge. We are on C Neki, which means normally Edge would start with a pile of really good equipment because you get him kind of mid-game normally in vanilla, but on Neki he will come with at worst a Charm Claw and at best maybe like a middle sword. But I saw both a Moon Veil, we got a Stardust as the key item, and a Vampire item. There is a world where we can take a Trap Chest immediately, but in the meanwhile, Martin's running to grab the free key item from Troya, and Zilch is running to Damsian. Gonna do some looting and also raise the hovercraft, which you are gonna need on this seed regardless, given the objectives.
Just Legend Sword from Bedward. We don't have that quest as a requirement, so that's a little bit of a zonk. But the items over in Damsian are a little bit of a zonk as well.
Yeah, we are on T Wildish. Damsian is sort of a low roll location, but there's a great density of items, and on T Wildish, I mean, the quality of loot really almost anywhere can be quite high. Like the things that you can suddenly find. I've found Zeus gauntlets there before. At least I think I have. I've definitely found a heroin rope there before. It's not the most likely of things, but also Marten cleverly noticing that there was an exit in his inventory, using that to get out of the Troya public treasury. Heading into town, gonna do some shopping.
Yeah, I did find a little variety of armor in particular doing that. The karate gi, ice armor, silver armor, much of that is gone. But the karate gi will stick around. That might be what you need to get edge just powerful enough to clear an early fight.
I love finding armor early and then shopping because the armor is all worth a lot of money and nobody on this party can even use the armor anyways. And often when you do have somebody who can use the armor, you'd rather wear something like a black belt. Try to get that strength bonus as well. Zilch having made his way to Troya, noticing that free key item. Marten finding those were Tier 3s and something else out of that shop. I missed the other item.
Silk webs.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty useful. Buys a little bit of both. All right, Marten making the play I sort of expected, especially with an edge. We're going to head over. Checking the equipment. Edge only started with an ice claw. That is a horrible low roll. If we find one decent item, though, I think aren't the Stalemen weak to ice? Or am I misremembering that?
Staleman is weak to ice. The skeletons that come with him are weak to fire rather than ice. But they are just weaker in general. That has been a trap chest encounter that I've been able to clear through with the skeletons very easily, and then the Staleman just wipes the party. So having the bias in strength the other direction, that's actually a better position to be in. And a power shirt makes things easier in general. So good pull there for Marten.
Also a Stardust Rod, pretty decent out of the middle tower here, and a Full Moon, which is a very, very reasonable weapon for Edge. Yeah, the Stalemen tend to put you to sleep. That's the worst part, by far, of what they do to you. But, yeah, Marten's equipping up here. I get a feeling he's thinking about taking one of these traps. I don't think you would equip otherwise while he saves.
Yeah.
Zilch, meanwhile, doing the shopping that Marten had done previously. Again, Zilch is kind of up on raising the hovercraft, which is something Marten hasn't done yet.
Yeah, we'll see if he follows the same route into the Adamant Castle or decides, no, he's going to go in the Chex route and head towards the Antlion Cave.
Yep, Zilch not interested in Eblin at all. And this is a play on T. Wildish that I think... Ooh, defense right out of the left side there. And Zeus Gauntlet.
Zeus Gauntlet, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I think traditional routing on T. Wildish, sort of the past few years, from my mind, when I joined, had been you just go do your checks because you get the power, because the quality of the loot's so good that you get the power along your way. But something about this flag set, because it tends to go so long, the fact that Marten was able to spike 2 full moons, a power shirt, and a Zeus Gauntlet out of Eblin Castle, and then was like, I'm done, I'm good. By doing that, that's really going to accelerate the time that he spent doing the loot. And it is a bit of a gamble, because maybe you just find nothing in Eblin, but Marten's definitely got a big advantage on the gear here.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the difference between doing T. Wildish versus just a T. Wild. There is that bias for the harder locations, the more buried locations, to have just a little bit better on average. And Eblin Castle, as we've mentioned, has those 3 trap chests. They are rough early on. So that does weigh things to be a little bit better. If you're just playing pure T. Wild, then why would you go there as opposed to anywhere else? Because then it is just a free form show. Anyway, here's Valveless. There goes Valveless.
That's normally a nightmare to find right away. Though you would know that Val cannot gate your access underground, but with darts, no problem. And that's an adamant. We do have immediate forge, which I find kind of amusing.
Yeah.
It's not an objective, but if we find a Cecil, that is an Excalibur for him right away.
We also have immediate Edward, which is amusing in a different way, over on Mount Hobbs, guarded by the officer soldiers, so barely guarded. Very easy pickup for a middling character. I mean, I love our bard, but he's just not very strong on this flag set.
Edward in general is definitely a trickier party member to work with. We do have the spoon flag on. If we happen to find a spoon, Edward will go from 0 to hero very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But we do need to find that.
I feel like Edward is best on very rapid flag sets where there's a possibility of Edward strats being viable, or there's a possibility of you get a spoon, you get an adamant armor, and you don't have the time for anyone else to show up and get strong. That kid on Edward is pretty powerful, but there are a lot of other ways that other characters could be more powerful.
Yeah, for sure. And in our bracket flag set coming up, where there is no Cecil or Fusoya, and the quality of the loot is decreased, a spoon word, I think, is going to do a lot of work somewhat frequently on that flag set. But we're not there yet. We're at groups. We got to get there first. And Zilch and Marten just sort of crossing paths here, basically in lockstep with each other. Zilch is the first to sort of move on. We're going to go do Fabul defense. Pretty standard opening routing, just sort of looking for any kind of progression beyond what you would normally do in a seed. Any sort of a key item, a magma key, a hook, even an earth crystal, go to the treasury.
Yeah, it's been a pretty standard opening because there hasn't been opportunity for it to be anything else yet.
Yeah, no other key items besides that forge, that immediate forge that is looming. That does make me want to find a Cecil quite badly. And Marten deciding, nah, I'm not interested in Fabul. I'm going to run to Baron Inn. I've got power. I've got all this gear. And this shows the difference in the loot because Zilch's party is not strong enough to take this on, whereas Marten very likely is. Finding a water hag. This is really not where you want to find water hag. This is a free fight in like the lowest hit point spot in the game. One of. But, we get a reprieve. Edward gets a pep talk.
And Zilch gets some guards to fight. With a single Stardust, will more or less take him out.
So Hupfen, how do you feel about seeds that get all the free bosses out of the way, like, immediately?
I'm glad I don't compete when I see those. Because those would be bad and painful and require skill. And I don't have the skill.
Well, and as Zilch finding the actually double Dancing Dagger. Dancing Dagger is a good usable item, and they're actually like kind of okay weapons. They're not like exactly what you want, but it's better than that Ice Claw. Yeah, all these free bosses out of the way early. There's Plague. That's another, well, I'm gonna put this in air quotes, free. This is actually gonna be kind of annoying for Marten to deal with. Thankfully,
not with the double full moon it won't. If you don't have those, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
So we have Zilch grabbing the pass, Marten grabbing the magma key. So Marten has his route underground, but Zilch has a rapid route to Zeromus. We'll see if that actually ends up being viable or valuable. If our last objective is that Murasame altar, it's not going to buy you as much time as you'd hope.
This is a wonderful early advantage for Marten, because he chose to go to Baron Inn, and it happened to have our underground access in the magma key. He is going to be able to go underground. He's not going to go to Fabul right away. He might do more overworld stuff, and by more overworld stuff, I mean ordeals, which probably doesn't want to do right away, so I think he's going to go underground right now, and he'll be able to do some shopping if he wants it. He might not even really need it, besides maybe item shops to find hourglasses, coffins, sirens, that kind of stuff. But he'll be able to route in Fabul and Sheila 1 at the same time, which is a really nice time save.
Yeah, and honestly, if you invest enough effort underground, checking for key items, taking care of Dwarf Castle, for example, you up the odds of having a pan and doing all your Fabul stuff in one fell swoop.
Now, Zilch making a play to loot the waterfall. I don't mind this because, again, from the mindset of you just kind of start your checks and you loot along the way and hope that you spike something useful. Zilch really has not found very good loot, so going into the front of the waterfall there, I believe he found an Artemis bow. That'll be useful for Rosa. Not quite as high of spikes as what Marten found, but sort of recognizing that he needs some power on his team and he needs it right now. So I like the I like the change to go loot and, try to spike something, especially since he hasn't found underground access yet. He either has to do Baron in or he has to run to Ordeals.
And he doesn't know it, but he's actually made a brilliant play in setting up that Rosa to be a powerful archer. Given what we have in the Baron Inn, I don't think he has much in the way of throwables from edge, but arrows are thrown. They're thrown very fast by a bow, and that'll do the trick just as well.
Yeah, that'll do the trick quite well. Marten is in, I believe, Dwarf Castle. This should just be a shop check. I didn't see what's here, but we're selling the world for something here. Chat's saying Baka, so
Yep,
yeah.
that's Baka's wine, yep.
Lovely. You also buy some exits, very, very smart. Rosa may not have exit for a very long time. That only comes from the cutscene in Zot, and you may not get Zot till the very end of the game. So really, really smart to grab those exits. Ooh, ninja swords too. We might be in the market to buy one of those. I don't think we've got the money for another. Says, you know what, Stardust Rod? I don't have mages. Don't care. Ninja sword.
Yeah,
please.
That's valid. That's committing to a certain style of party. You get rid of a Stardust Rod, you're saying, I don't care if I see black mages anymore. They are not in my plan.
Yep, definitely. Zilch not trusting Plague. He's setting up the way. This is the very safe way of running this. Gonna throw a Ninja Star to speed this up. Actually, think this is gonna go okay for him then. Against Plague, the thing you want to do, and actually the count hasn't even come out yet.
That's extremely safe. Absolutely safe.
Yeah. What you would do is you would knock down a party member that's counted, then life them up, so that Plague then will restart the count, and that's the way of managing that fight so you don't die. But just gets through that, no problem. Gets his magma key. He'll be heading underground, I imagine, quite soon.
It was like Marten through with his shopping, going to go and do the Feymarch freebie check. Probably peek the two bosses in here, but he's also going to check these chests. Higher weight from being locked and having a fight in here. So there's another Bacchus. Could be even better stuff down a floor or two deep.
Chat pointing out against that Plague. Someone will be down for the count. I just had to speak that into existence. Thank you.
You did. You had to do it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm the one with an emote for bad puns, and even I had to sigh.
All right, Marten is in the Feymarch in the land of summoned monsters now, doing some more looting. Probably a life staff. That's a pretty nice spike out of the 4 chests in the back in the exit room.
Yeah, I mean, you take that.
Yeah, happily. I think this is Marten's a little low on money. Get a little bit more loot. There's a little more shopping, probably for items to do still. Artemis arrows out of the Feymarch freebie. Not what you want, but they're useful.
I mean, you really want key items right now just because you have so few key items. I mean, those Artemis arrows are nice if you're going to go Battle Rosa, which, having picked up a Porum, Battle Rosa is a bit more viable. And that is one freebie down in Feymarch. That's the Eblin royalty.
Yeah, Marten taking the step out you almost always take because you're like, I'm not taking any of this. Oh, there's the one boss battle I can take without question. The spot is normally, or it is, very, very fast. We're not well anchored for it. And anything that's here could be trouble. Even like a freebie that you could coffin or hourglass or whatever, it's so fast that without a good anchor, you'd have to set up for it. But the special thing about this particular fight is that these two set their magic attack power at the start of the fight. So no matter where they show up, their spells don't really do anything. So this is just free.
Mm-hmm. They do have an issue with Porum, apparently. That might be the only time I've seen a character fall to the Eblin royalty.
The only time this boss is dangerous is when you find them on Hobbs and you've got like 2 base level characters and not a lot of curatives, that's where it can get a little scary, but yeah.
Or if Marten didn't heal up before coming in.
Yeah.
Because again, this is a fast spot, so would have a large number of attacks, even if not the high potency.
Yeah, but smartly healing up. Meanwhile, Zilch really in lockstep behind. Zilch did his shopping in Dwarf Castle. Actually missed what he picked up. I did see some shopping there, though, so... Might get a job dwarf check. Animal husbandry work supervisor?
Animal husbandry worker supervisor. So it doesn't do the animal husbandry, but supervises it. Make sure it's going correctly.
So he's a boss. Job dwarf is a boss.
Yes.
That's what I got out of that.
Job dwarf is middleman. Job dwarf has an office. Has a strong coffee preference. And Marten has a Mylon fight of some description that I think he's gonna go peak.
This is an interesting check. I'm not sure how you get through either fight, so I'm really looking forward to seeing. He might just want the information, or he might have an idea involving like a moon veil. All right, finds Mylon and friends and says, you know what, I don't want to party, I'm good.
Yeah, looking at those 2 moon veils in the inventory, so he is able to handle, some really punchy boss should he stumble upon one. But you've only got the 2 in your inventory. Might want to hold it off for something a little more threatening later.
Zilch now in Fame Arch again, really just like maybe a minute behind Marten in checks at the moment. Marten heading down to do Sheila 1. We don't have the pen yet, that's fine. We'll just know that Yang is there so that we can go talk to his wife in Fabul and tell her, hey, Yang is underground. Normally she'd give us a pen, but this time, who knows? But then he'll be able to get that check out of the way and do his Fabul defense and get his pass from that check as well.
Yeah, but all this while, both of our runners are fading Dwarf Castle, which it is a heavy investment for a character and 1 key item. It is a little disincentivized. And as I say that, Marten, went past it, is going to Kokol's. Okay. Point is, though, it is a key item check. And when you're this limited for options, maybe that's what you dive.
Marten is forging now. This is interesting. I guess...
I mean, we're getting an Excalibur, right? That you could throw those.
You can throw those. We're checking the shop. Nothing terribly exciting. He might be interested in that Artemis bow.
Yeah, or the Protect
Ring. We do
Ring.
see some selling. Or the Protect Ring. Both of them would be quite good for him right now. Maybe the Protect Ring, actually. Maybe both? Nah.
Maybe neither.
Changes his mind. This is a check I would normally like to put off, but Marten might just be like, you know what? I see a Cecil in my future. It's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, I have a very, very expensive dart that can get me out of a number of fights.
Yeah, and at the absolute minimum, that turns 2 items in your inventory into 1 item in your inventory. So, there's that.
And speaking of character checks, Marten going to prioritize the character checks. Has a good amount of power. Let's go do Dwarf Castle. Zilch getting through his Fame Arch free fight out of the Ashura spot. King and Queen Ublin gonna get his... what was it again?
Just a Moon Veil.
Oh, it is another Moon Veil. Got it. Well, we've got 2.
And we've got a Sparkle at the Dull spot. Oh, hi, Vern.
Wyvern. Alright, so we're fast anchored, which means we're going to get through this fight. I'd also hide the Edward. Yeah, he's going to do that. Because what's going to happen? This Wyvern's dead. And we're going to go into the fight with 2 party members for the next boss. Maybe 3 if we get a character that we want.
Going in with 2, that is canonical.
It is canonical.
So,
That's right.
So there you go. Marten is bringing vanilla into the seed.
Mylanza, however, is not canonical.
No, it's 2 edges is also not canonical.
Wait, do you want second edge? I think you want second edge. Oh.
Yeah, swapping an ed for an ed.
Wait, this has just become what is that Nintendo game? There's a Super Nintendo version. It's Battletoads and
Battletoads Double Dragons. Yeah,
Double Dragon.
No, that's if you have 2 Canes.
Oh, I mean that's fair, but we've got the Edge Brothers, and they're gonna take Mylanza down. That's like a cheesy '90s.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, it's extremely
cartoon, right?
90s. Yes. I'm just looking at this thing. I'm pretty sure this is an Ed and Eddie episode, but
that's good. Yes, yeah. If only we'd had a spoon so we could keep Edward. Probably wouldn't have anyways, but you know.
No.
One can dream. All right, the Magus sisters had a very bad day to a pair of Gaia drums, looked like.
Mm-hmm.
This is on Ordeals, where Zilch is at the moment.
Yep. Perfectly smooth fight for the first slot there. We'll see what Marten gets for this Dwarf Castle visit. He got an edge. The key item was an edge.
The key item was an edge and a very nice t-shirt. In that white shirt.
Yeah, throw that on whoever your designated healer is going to be.
Yep, chat smartly calling out that's enough money for that second ninja sword, which Marten bought. You got 2 ninjas now. One of them, I mean, you know, you could split the full moons and the ninja swords between the 2 of them. It's pretty rare in my experience to actually have enough weaponry for 2 edges, but Marten's got it. Meanwhile, Zilch finding yet another free fight in the Dark Imps at the back attack ordeal spot. A little punchy early game. They're actually kind of dangerous, but I mean, Zilch is leveled enough, geared enough that it's fine, but these are more free bosses out of the pool. Normally you could coffin them, hourglass them, you know, do all sorts of tricks to get them out of the way, but that might be almost all the free bosses gone already.
Certainly I can't think of any more off the top of my head.
I can't either. We've seen both forms of guards. Zilch just getting an Ogre Axe. Ooh. Antlion not on the moon. I'm disappointed. I'd like a refund. Antlion in the mirror room. Now that's a dangerous boss you're glad to see gone.
Yeah, this is now making me think. We have to see Marten do the Sheila 1 check, so that is still outstanding, but at that point you've got Keyless Tower and a spot in the Fey March. Is that
Keyless Tower or Mylan and Friends, yeah. That's currently it.
This is looking like it's gonna funnel into something very linear.
Or we could get Darkness very soon, and this goes from linear to the moon is your oyster and everything is on there. All the chains are on there. That would be interesting. Also, something about the Excal, the Forge check. Without Marten going to Ordeals, he actually won't have a Paladin Cecil. So there is also a bit of tension there between having the Excalibur and not having Paladin Cecil available. Shield 1 giving a tower key. That's at least... We're going to the tower now. That's just the next place to go, period.
Absolutely. That's a lot less scary than that Fey March check. It's 2 checks. Yeah, just follow the trail that's being laid out in front of you.
Zilch also going to do his Forge. Really interested in that Excalibur and that Chop Chuck. Probably going to do Dwarf Castle right away. It might be a play of like, you know what, I'm right here. And then Marten being like, yeah, Paladin Cecil's a thing. Let's just do Ordeals. Saving outside, that might be the mindset of I'm going to do this key item check and then reset if it's nothing, though Cecil is such a force in this flag set that he might end up keeping the Ogre Axe anyways. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, like you said, he's got 2 edges and they're kitted. which is the rare part of it all. So I may be willing to say, I have enough physical damage. I'm actually okay with these two because they are properly kitted out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, also, I was just looking at Zilch's inventory. The Feymarch save room had a curse ring in it that Zilch definitely got. I'm going to guess Marten also got it as well.
Pretty sure
in this
he did,
flag
yeah.
set. Yeah, curse ring on this flag set when you only have 4 characters, incredibly useful to have. Now, Wyvern is gone, which is usually the one sort of like boss that's looming that's like, if you're not anchored well, you're just dead. But that curse ring means I don't have to carry a dead white party member around. Really nice.
Yeah, it makes things with Zeromus just that much easier to approach. As you're saying, you can just have a character that is actually useful and still be able to knock them down 15 agility at the end of the program and get them in a nice smooth spot.
Yeah, definitely. Now, while our runners are sort of crossing each other's paths, I do want to take just a moment to shout out the Restream team. We've got Harumph giving you, putting the feed straight at your eyeballs, giving us this complete Kev Magnus objective. I'm sure he's very happy about. We've got Twisted Flax doing the tracking, and Hupfin here and comes with me. Follow everyone. We're all pretty great.
Yeah, so do follow Solaris, my co-commentator this evening, as well as our runners, Marten and Zilch. As we said at the beginning, these are two really strong runners and really knowledgeable about the game. And whoever comes out on top of this, it may just be the bias on what kind of seed each one plays better in, on what it ends up being. These are the kind of runners that any given day, yeah, either one of them could take it out.
Not only just any day, either one of them can take it out. They both faced off against each other. I forgot to mention this. They both faced off against each other in our last major tournament, CZ4. They were in the bracket stage. Marten just narrowly inching out a win against Zilch in their best of 3 setup. Definitely some history now between the two of them. And yeah, like you said, two pretty evenly matched runners here, both quite good.
Zilch is going for the Eddie. Got rid of the Porum rather than the Edward. So might be banking on that spoon being available, or maybe try and make Edward your anchor at the end with that curse string. That would be a little dangerous just because he's a speedy bard, and his agility actually grows quite well. But hey, there'll be other opportunities to get rid of him for someone else too, so it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, at the moment I like Marten's party setup a bit more for my playstyle because you've got 2 big heavy hitters and you've got 2 white mages. And one of them you can just curse down whenever you need that agility setup, and otherwise just having... Now, the fact that Zilch has both Bacchus and... We've seen Cure 3s for sale, and I know Marten bought some. I don't remember if Zilch did or not. But just having Bacchus alone, able to use that as your Berserk source means the 2 white mages are a bit less useful. But I'm going to stop myself there. Marten's headed back to Adamant Castle. Looks like we're interested in some trap chests.
Yep, we know all 3 are over. Oh! There's more than just trap chests over here, apparently.
More edge gear. Put some Marasana.
Yeah. I think that's the only thing that could have happened that would make Marten come back to Adamant Castle and feel like he messed up. Because just hitting those first 2 towers was a great play. But then you come over here, there was a Murasame just sitting there. You're like, oh, right. Fortunately for him, Zilch has not bothered to do that castle whatsoever, so Marten actually does still have that advantage gear-wise.
He does, but Marten going back to Adamant Castle is bleeding time. Now, there are 2 major things you come here to look for with these trap chests, and there's the put to sleep part that I mentioned before. Okay, 2 things that you want. Adamant armor, which is on in this flag set. Name's Adamant Cup, the tournament. The other thing is Holy Swords. Because of the tier 8 weighting on T Wildish, you are incredibly likely to hit a tier 8, which means an Excalibur, a Crystal Sword, or Adamant Armor. That's literally it for tier 8s. There are some pretty decent tier 7 hits as well. You could hit a Masamune, but I mean, what does this party need?
I mean, you'll
Adamant
take a
Armor, I guess?
Masamune.
Yeah, you certainly will take that, but this is a play that it is going to bleed a little bit of time. It's going to give Zilch some time to catch up.
Yeah, especially if we land more on those holy swords that you were talking about. A single adamant armor is quite a bit of help, and also, as our tracker mentioned, there's levels. You're getting XP here. These seeds tend not to need too much of a grind just because of the completion rate, but a little more power early makes later fights go on faster.
Yeah, this is also a good play for experience. Oh, we've got a charmed Mad Ogre. That's cute.
Honestly, that can be very helpful too.
The one nice thing about coming back here is that because you're coming back, you've already looted about half of Heblin Castle, so finding the traps isn't really going to take that long. The party's really strong, but I mean, Zilch is basically caught up at this point, and oh, Marten just getting a Siren out of that trap chest. That's a low roll.
I didn't see if Zilch went and did the full Sheila 1 check, so I'm not positive if he has the tower key, but is stopping out at the tower. So if he does, that's the full thing swept. If not, that's a keyless tower. That's a little bit of a time bleed, but I don't know if the super cannon is going to be valuable, though.
I don't think he did either. Oh, that could be disastrous. It's either going to be disastrous or like an incredible play. I don't think there's going to be an in-between here.
Yeah, I did not see what Marten got from that third trap chest just menued so quickly.
I missed it as well. Maybe
these people are too good at the game. They're too good. They're too fast. Okay, yeah.
So no Avenger wielders in the party. Marten found a couple of really good darts and a Siren, which not really what he wanted, but okay enough. And okay, Zilch does have the tower key. Okay, good.
Yep. And Marten has it as well. Is now going to the tower. We have Demist at the controls. Just one shot dissolved.
I've been calling her Denise lately. I don't know why. You know, the D of the D-Mist. We also like to say Derek Mist. That's another thing I've heard.
Yeah, Derek Mist. I just think of it as the Mist, D-Mist.
Yeah, the Mist. That's a good way to put it. Good mix now of very frustrating bosses and very free bosses out of the pool. Like, this is another boss you really don't want to see in a high hit point spot. It's just very annoying. It's usually freer because D-Mist gives you some time while she goes in the mist form, but that also bleeds time. And it makes zerking a lot harder.
Yeah, it's
I missed, therefore I am. Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
Ooh, Goldes, top of tower. Ugh.
Lovely. Yeah, it actually makes me think of Zilch's run at the Plague Fight, where he kind of took that approach that was a little slower but a little safer, and how D-Mist kind of enforces that from the boss side in a lot of spots where, you know, you have that downtime, so it is slower, but you have downtime. You can pick your party up. Anyway, here's a comedy act.
Yeah, Zilch very wisely, guard, get over to Edward right away. Edward hiding means one less person's gonna die. Edward will be able to come back up. Now, in a lot of high magic attack spots, or even like middling magic attack spots, you really need to get a Starvel up at sort of the end of this comedy act, or you're just going to die. But this spot has really abysmal magic attack power. So long as one of the healthier... Actually, we're all pretty healthy. I think Zilch isn't going to be able to get through this fight. It's just going to be annoyingly slow for him, I think.
It's just the tedium of it. But fortunately, hidden characters count as non-existent as far as Shadow is concerned. So yeah, we have 2 characters left standing, and also Edward.
Edward being able to hide in the vacuum of space against Romus's Big Bang just has me convinced that he goes into his own pocket dimension.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Like, there's
the
hiding, and then
magic
there's...
of music.
Yeah, there's hiding, and then there's just whatever he does, which is like... if I could get out of situations the way that he can, I would be quite happy.
He goes into the void. This is the introduction of the void. This is what he goes and hangs with Gilgamesh for a bit. I just read chat and realized that the same comment had been made. So thank you, chat, for making that same comment. We're on the same wavelength.
I love that. Zerker Rosa continuing to do work here for Zilch. Doing a decent amount of damage. By decent, I mean like 1 to 2k per swing. This might just be the Rosa only show.
Might just be. Yeah, usually like virus is one of the scarier things for Golbez to throw out, especially with adamant armor and all that. Still pierce right through. Barely chips away at edge on a direct hit. So yeah, that magic power is nothing to write home about.
Ooh, that top edge going down, so I'm just gonna have to bring the Bard out. This can get a little scary. I'm not counting damage, but yeah, the Star Veil's down for Rosa, and she is berserked, so we are on a clock.
And clock's up.
Over. Never mind.
Ding, ding, ding.
Zilch very efficiently getting through that fight.
Oh, and there's that pan, so we can round out the Sheila checks.
Okay, so you know that part where we panicked about maybe not having done Sheila 1? Is this like kind of a punish? Like an unintentional punish?
What's hilarious though is you still could have single shot Fabul this entire time because this was available. It was a questionable play to do Keyless Tower, but you could have done that and then done the Yang Bonk and both Sheila checks in one fell swoop. If you routed it like that, then salute. This is a far more sensible routing.
Exactly, yeah. If you had routed it like that, I would have questions and also just applaud. But we don't know what the tower key has. We're going to find that out in a moment. And we have a pan. This seed might have finally opened up. We do need some sort of progression.
Mm-hmm.
It's behind one of these things, or it's behind the Mylan and friends at the Leviathan spot, which it's annoying, but I'm pretty sure these runners could get through it if they really, really had to, but hopefully they don't.
Okay, you really did need that tower key. You really did.
That's a little required. That tower key had the darkness crystal. The game is suddenly open. We went from, oh my god, where am I going next, to, oh, okay. Well, now I can go to the moon. There are 6 checks there. Don't know if we're going to do them immediately, because we've got other things to find out about the pan bonk and Sheila when we give that pan back, but there's the progression we very much wanted.
And there's our first objective key. So we have the Luca key from the Sylphs.
Very happy to see that. We're going to be able to do that Luca check before going back above ground. I wouldn't even be that surprised. Yeah, Zilch is going to go do that immediately, and I think Martin's going to make the same choice. This is just, this is sort of an efficiency play. Sealed Cave can be a bit dangerous, but the main danger is that it's a very fast spot and it has a very high magic attack stat because the evil wall is normally there and it needed the high magic attack stat to be able to land its petrify thing. But it doesn't punch. It can punch kind of hard, but mainly with a good anchor and some smart play. It's a check that we can get through right now. And both of our runners are going to do that. Get it out of the way. It's an objective. Do it before you go above ground, or even do anything else that hopefully you don't ever have to come back down here unless that Leviathan spot at the Fame Arch is required.
Yeah, and on top of your anchoring situation that you got here, you've got moon veils. both of our runners have at least one, and I'm pretty sure they both have 2 in their inventories. So
Very
if it
true.
is something that is going to be very punchy from being very fast, well, you can make it unpunchy.
Yeah, you can make it, in fact, free. Moonveil putting up a very long-lasting Starveil Reflect, and then also just making that character completely immune to physical attacks. Just completely immune. It's like Forever Blink.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about some of the worst bosses to find down here, Rubicant would be quite dangerous.
Yes, definitely.
Mega Sisters are out.
The
Gauntlet would be hilarious.
it wouldn't be
dangerous.
it wouldn't be dangerous, but it would be funny, and it would be tedious. Because we don't. Well, I don't know. We have 2 edges. We have some AOE. We have a rat tail. Good joke.
That might be something in the future, but we do need the hook to turn it in. It's not objective. It could turn into the pink tail. That's always my favorite turn in.
Mm-hmm.
When you turn in the rat tail and they're just like, oh, wait, actually, no, here, have this instead. Oh, wait, no, I wanted that. Okay, here's what the pink tail is. It just all happens immediately.
It makes me think. I don't know if you ever seen the video of like the ice cream vendor that's also like a street performer. So he does the whole like juggling act with the ice cream as he's trying to serve it to you. I just imagine it's that, but with tails.
I love that. All right. Dark Knight Cecil, not going to be a problem here. Attack stat is not that dangerous here, which is what this Dark Wave is based off of, so... Like, the Edge brothers... Okay, well, one of them will survive. I kind of thought maybe both, but...
Yeah, you just need one character left standing and you're in the clear, and Marten will be in a similar situation.
But first, we get a speech about justice.
So yeah, that is Objective 1 lit up on the board for, well, both runners now. At 43.5 minutes in.
Things could get very interesting depending on what Sheila gives with that pan return. If there's nothing, or it's maybe like a pink tail or a sand ruby out of Sheila 2, then we have to go to the moon. And then the interesting play might be, you know, kind of who goes where, what, when. But if Sheila gives, well, I guess it would have to be the Baron Key, because I'm just thinking like the Earth Crystal or the Twin Harp are required, so you would just go do that. Baron Key, you might...
Baron Castle's required.
Oh, no, Baron Castle, never mind, no.
But Baron Castle does also have the basement, so there's 2 key item checks in that direction.
Yeah. But given the objectives and sort of the way the key items are lining up, the seed is... I'm not going to say it's playing itself, but the routing is definitely like... I go here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here.
Mm-hmm. It's currently turning out to be very linear. Again, the moon will decide that. You know, if we go through and there's, you know, 4 different key items in there, then it kind of fans out at the end.
Yeah, also, walking out of Sealed Cave always feels a little bad. I don't think we've even seen a Warp Caster, though, so... Just gotta do it.
Nope. Well, apparently Edward can cast Warp, but it's a very personal Warp and really just to a pocket dimension. Oh, there's an Earth Crystal.
Right. All right, that's an objective. Maybe Zilch does the treasury. I think Marten is better served skipping it because he's got so much power already. He's already got those power shirts, Zeus gauntlets, basically everything he wants. Actually, Marten...
Did Marten...
Yeah,
did Marten do the bonk? Marten did the bonk. Yes, that's how you get the Luca key. So he can go back and do Sheila 2.
Yeah, Marten did the bonk, but Marten did not go turn in Sheila 2, whereas Zilch did. This is very interesting. Yeah, Zilch heading over. And chat, we're gonna play one of our favorite games. That is Rate That Treasury.
I would say that would be a great treasury for Rydia. We don't have Rydia though, so it's not bad.
For Zilch, I don't know what weapons he had for Edge. Finding, I think that was a ninja sword. Honestly, a pretty reasonable pickup, and 2 crystal rings are really good.
Mm-hmm. There were a
It's
couple
okay.
ribbons. I think I saw Artemis
And double
bow.
ribbon, yeah.
There was a Bahamut summon, so
Zilch gonna spike probably the first 2 chests here. There is the Flame Dog trap chest. Pretty reasonable to just go kill it if it happens to be along your path. Yeah, Zilch's not even gonna bother with the second chest. Really just want to get through this. Like, there's a low chance you had an adamant armor. I don't know what the odds are. They're not great, but it could happen. I've seen it. Marten, meanwhile, after raising the lunar whale, is like, oh shoot, I gotta do this too. So
yeah, might have just been getting the whale out, get the cutscene out of the way, give himself a moment to think and like plan out the next few steps. Since the unsung value of cutscenes is just breathing room.
yeah, time to breathe, time to think. I mean, when you're racing these, especially at this level, I mean, you're just go, 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 go. So any time that you get to just think is it's very blessed. Marten getting his Earth Crystal from Sheila will be heading straight there. I would be surprised if he does the treasury check. If he does, that treasury is awful for him. There's like nothing in there that he wants.
Oh, absolutely. That treasury is a catch-up mechanic for Zilch, but Marten does not need it right now.
And speaking of catch-up mechanics, Zilch is like just slightly ahead, basically. Between Marten heading over to do those trap chests in Eblin, their routing diverged a little bit early game, but Marten was ahead. Oh, and Marten's going to do that treasury. Not going to be very happy. I mean, a ninja sword's nice. It is nice.
There's money. There's money.
There is a lot of money to be found here. Not really needed at the moment. Zilch, meanwhile, finding the elements at the Maga Sister spot. This spot, actually really the tower in general, is not really going to challenge this team at this point. Probably anyways. This is just gotta get through it. Maybe we find a Cecil, that'd be nice. We've got an Excalibur, Marten's got 2 of them. Zilch would love to get rid of this Edward, I think. And kind of fill his party out.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you will have the 2 opportunities to do so. Yeah, Zilch passed the Rubicante stage, so yeah. Easy elements fight from there on.
Elements tend to only be dangerous when you're on the Ruby part of the phase, because he'll cycle through Fire 2, Fire 3, and Glare all AoE. That can be very dangerous in the wrong spot. Not that spot, though. The other part of Elements... Okay, so we've got Rydia. The other part of Elements I've only seen once on the hook route when I didn't have good anchoring, is that Valvalis, after basically an eternity, will AoE Tornado your party. Will AoE weak your party. That is very scary and dangerous, but very rarely seen.
Yeah, simply defeat her before that happens, though. That's the strategy.
Yep. Storm has a great animation, though. That's what it's called. I do love that cast. Also see it again. You also see it against behemoths when you cast. Against them.
Yep.
Also, yeah, I think we just got an anchor, if Zilch even wants it, and he doesn't. It's a Yang and a Rydia, not really the characters you wanted. There's still a character on the moon. But Zilch, having a really good anchor in Rydia, not really interested.
Hey, it's the goblet.
Well, this is annoying.
You have 2 edges. You have AoE fire.
Yeah, if you're gonna find the gauntlet somewhere and have to deal with it, this is probably one of the better spots. Yeah, this is required. You know you have to do it. It's not like it's on the moon. You have to wonder, oh, do I do this or not? It's not at the Ogopogo altar, which is, oh my god, all sorts of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the Alt Gauntlet where once I was here with a really low level party and didn't have any casters. There's some form of flan.
Yep.
I think is one of the parts of this that it was like I actually just couldn't get through it. That almost never happens, but
I think they're the white slimes. I don't remember what they're called in this version.
I don't either. We'll see them.
Because the enemies. This is your ice themed dungeon. For some reason, don't think about the Tower of Zot too hard. So yeah, the AoE flame, very handy. Tofu. Thank you, Chad.
Tofu. Yeah, thanks. What I love about the Alt Gauntlet flag is that you get to see enemies you normally don't see because we don't have encounters on because, oh my god, that would be so tedious. Because this is a boss-focused, randomizer, not so much about doing the random encounters. So especially when I was learning Free Enterprise, a lot of these were like, oh, wow, I haven't seen this enemy in like forever, or what the heck do you do?
Yeah, when I played through the Pixel Remaster of 4, you get the encounters, you see what is actually in the game, and I'm like, I didn't realize these enemies even existed at all.
Some of my favorites, the Alt Gauntlet at the Mist Cave. There's larva there. They like to psych your MP away.
A very funny thing. Yeah, very funny thing to do vanilla.
Very hilarious when you have to rely on a Black Mage caster, and by hilarious I mean awful. So that's a fun one. Another encounter, I don't understand why they exist, but in the little peninsula we like to land on to do eggs underground.
Right.
There's an encounter down there with an enemy called a Talantla. Is the translation in this version of the game?
Huh.
They cast like a little quake. And by little quake, I mean like it doesn't do much damage, but they do it, and they're like only there for some reason.
Oh, is that like the weaker version of Arachne?
Yeah.
Huh. Anyway, there's a spoon. Zilch is happy to have that spoon.
Very happy to have that spoon. Zilch still has the Ed, and Eddie show.
Yeah, and Marten can throw the spoon.
Marten also going to be quite happy with that spoon. That spoon, Marten likes to say this, may mention this in his interview. That spoon is when you're in a face check mode, it just takes 10,000 hit points out of any boss encounter. Very, very useful.
It is also the 10th key item that Zilch has. I know we have 11 lit up there. The pass doesn't count. So there's that.
Very smart to point that out. When you go to the moon has a lot of experience in it. Full clearing the moon will basically be all the levels that you want for your party. When you only have 9 key items, you start doing this calculus of like, what checks do I do first so that maybe I get the 10th key item, but they're not going to have to think about that. Just go to the moon, do your checks, get them over with.
And yeah, this combination of high key item count, high completion, that's why we're not seeing much in the way of grinds happening. Clearing the seed is your grind.
Yeah, once in a rare while, you still, like Free Enterprise loves to do, once in a while you still get the like early game hook route, you found a Tella and you have darkness, and it's like, well, I don't feel like fighting the turtle, I'll just do a D-Machine grind. Like, that's super rare, but it does still happen. But this seed definitely did not play out this way. This seed was just like, go, 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 very linear, very efficiency loaded, like... Zilch showing his efficiency has caught up with Marten. Was at the start of this seed about a minute behind based on just not going to Baron in right away and having to double dip and then eventually triple dip Fabul. Also Marten getting really good gear out of the start of the game. But Zilch has sort of caught up with that now. And now, I mean, we're literally neck and neck. We are both headed to the moon. Like...
Yeah. So it is going to come down to what can be found on the moon. And who is to be found?
Yeah, who and what is to be found here? Marten checking the shop would love... Coffins, I guess? The All Gauntlet is out of the way. Actually,
Yeah,
Star Veils, I would have picked up a few of those. We've got Moon Veils, so it's fine. Wyvern's out of the way, Golbus is out of the way, don't really need them. Yeah, Marten taking that time to do a shop check, still just bleeding that little bit of time.
and you're not taking the cane.
No.
No.
Marten's got an Avenger, might kind of be interested.
Maybe,
But...
I don't know, too well-suited. Oh, Zilch is, gonna drop an edge. Zilch doesn't have the gear.
The gear, yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I don't know what he has for Kane, but I know Marten has a defense sword. I'm not sure what Zilch has. Also, Zilch, I think, is going to check either the shop or K value. Okay, we're going to do the shop check first. I like Marten's routing of this better because, again, this is just like minor efficiency thing. It's like drop down to shop, go up, and then go to Moon, Palace. Now Marten can just run straight down. Probably going to do the Murasame altar first because that's an objective, so it sort of changes the calculus if you do top up or bottom down. But, I mean, Zilch just going to have to jump on that whale one more time. It's minor, but, like, the little things kind of matter right now.
Yeah, especially with, as we're saying, a seat this linear and runners at this caliber. So yeah, Marten will be the first to hit up this altar as Zilch is actually going and visiting the hair dryers, probably hoping for an adamant pull out of the trap chest.
Right,
and
so
here's Leviathan.
So this is Zilch's trap chest play. You're going to see a lot of this in the tournament. We've already seen a lot of this, and it's going to continue. Because I mean, adamant armor would really, really change things pretty dramatically. It's also going to get decent experience on Kane, who is going to be our anchor for the moment. I don't know if we'll stay as anchor. We'll see.
I still see Zilch, clearing out the moon, coming back, cleaning out his objectives, going to the tower, and picking up Rydia or some other early character with low base agility. Slap the curse ring on them. There's your anchor. And the fourth slot, in the meantime, is just extra damage and little finessing as you need it.
Or Spooner is just about to murder this Kane. Oh, and Kane goes down. Did he put that spoon on?
Did put the spoon on Edward, yes.
Edward's about to murder somebody. Himself.
Oh, you. On the one hand, you hate to see it. On the other hand, that is very funny.
I'm sorry. That's just really
that's just a tragic kitchen accident, is what that is.
It is, and now Edward's gonna hide because that's what he does.
And it's embarrassing. Oh, and there's the hook.
All right, well, that hook's required. And that was an objective, so very happy to see that. Rat Tail could very well be something else now. So now that Rat Tail is going to kind of be looming in the calculus of how much of this moon do I do.
Yeah.
We have the hook route. That's already available, but we still need the Pink Tail, Baron Key, and the Twin Harp. That's what we need now for go mode.
Oh, and a Masamune from the hair dryers. You're on. The competition is do your objectives versus efficiency of the moon. You can go take that hook, take that rat tail, go back to Earth, do objective stuff, or you can stay here, clear out the moon, with the possibility of none of this mattering. But you've already got one objective and one key item out of the deal. You don't want to do that cutscene again.
Yeah, the odds that this moon has nothing are so low. I think I would do what Marten's doing. You just head down. The nice thing about doing the moon, and when you bank on it having at least something, is that this is your grind too. It's what we were talking about before. So it's like even if you don't get the key items out of this, at least you get the experience. So you're kind of knocking two birds out with one stone. It is somewhat reasonable, though, because it's the top of the moon, not the bottom, to go check that rat tail immediately. But I suspect Zilch won't do that. Thank you, Scala, for that clip. I love that title name. Edward has a tragic kitchen accident. Okay, Kinatsu is very annoying in the ribbon room.
Yeah, bit speedy for a turtle.
Yeah. So that spot has a lot of health, and Kinatsu's wave attack is based on his current health. It is dangerous. What he wants to do is Zerk up immediately with a Bacchus. Throwing the Silk Web also will help a little bit to slow the turtle down, but a Bacchus, and really you need damage, because I don't know if he has any way of casting the Thunder spell with an item.
Yeah,
which is taking that Kinatsu out of the wave form.
I do remember Marten going and actually selling off a good number of J items early on. Yep, that's a 10k deletion.
Make this a lot safer.
Yeah, do those edges have blitz? I don't know that they do.
Oh, blitz would do it. Yeah, but they don't because of the not quite enough damage. Yeah, I think if Marten needs to reset this because that bottom edge is berserked, what he'll want to do is throw a Bacchus immediately, and then dart with the spoon on the second edge, and then do something with Rosa to maybe get a little more damage out, or cast Zerk on the bottom edge. You just need enough damage out so that you don't die immediately to that wave. And the Zerkers going are going to kind of clog up the queue and sort of help. That will do a lot more than just using the Bacchus. Sorry, just using the Silk Web to slow him down. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens. Marten has to take a wipe. It's a rude turtle.
But Zilch is past the Murasame altar with that hook. And that second objective lit up. And that is an exit cast. I think we are finally going to see that divergence. Oh, it's worse Noodle.
So do you like Noodle or Noodle? Well, Noodle or Turtle. Yeah, so speaking of how all those freebies are gone, those free bosses, this is imminently easier, though, because Rosa will just sort of tier 3 all the problems away while the Zerkers go.
I feel like this set of bosses is trying to make an argument for there being water on the moon. And I think it's a valid argument.
Well, while my brain considers water on the moon, Zilch making the play that I love for us as viewers, because it's adding a lot of drama out of the seed. Zilch says, nah, moon, I'd rather see what's in that rat tail first. This is a big check. This leads to progression. And the moon doesn't happen to have anything. That's sort of the scenario. And the rat tail has the twin harp.
Oh boy.
But the pink tail.
Oh.
But the pink tail's at the white spear altar. That's required. This is advantage to Marten.
Yeah, this is actually kind of tragic for Zilch, because if that was a Zonk, pretty confident he would have reset, gone to an earlier save, been right back on the moon. Instead, he's going to keep chasing this, and now, yeah, you're going to be making that trip back up.
And the only thing that the twin harp can have is the Baron Key, which are both earth-bound things to do. So the sort of order that you do these, it's better for Marten, because doing the twin harp then will let you sort of use the pass and finish out the seed that way. Now, the one place where might be an advantage is that if the twin harp does give the Baron Key, Zilch will only need the pink tail and could skip a lot of the moon that way. That could be huge.
Possibly,
the problem with that is that Zilch would need experience. Though Zilch, of many runners, Zilch is sort of a master of low-level stuff, so may really play out to his advantage.
This is just gonna be a fascinating finish after a fairly linear start. This may come down to which strategy you took.
Zilch is going to need this twin harp to lead, I think, to the Baron Key, or to spike the pink tail and the Baron Key on the moon rather quickly, because Zilch is also going to need to find a way to get experience. And yes, chat, all 7 of these objectives are required. This is still anybody's game. We're just in a really interesting divergence.
Marten really going aggressive on those darts, trying to get all the damage possible. Does have one edge go down, but Rosa and the second edge are both still standing. It'll be a bit of an easier time as we have the dearly departed Eddie. I say that as if he's dead. He's not dead. He's just injured. And he's going to play a tune.
That was, I believe, Hollow Bastion from Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm gonna guess Kingdom Hearts 1. Perfect music, by the way, to accompany this Kainatsu fight, which Marten is getting through quite well now. And just a Sand Ruby from the Twin Harp. That's a zonk. That's not what you want.
That tells us that the Baron Key is up on the moon or at that second Feymarch fight. But Zilch has that. Zilch can launch that Falcon. I don't know how much longer he's going to stay here.
I wonder if Zilch is going to go do the Leviathan spot now. Because he's down here.
Yeah. He may well commit to, I'm going to do as much of Earth as I possibly can.
I'm sorry, is that the worst ribbon room I've ever seen? Did you check what that was?
I didn't see what that was.
It was it was the tier 5 shop item special. It was a coffin and an hourglass.
Oh dear.
It was the Eblin Cave shop out of 10. Agreeing with chat here.
Well,
with all the free bosses gone, those were basically useless.
So we know the Baron Key wasn't there. It's not, the Baron Key isn't there. It could still be on Earth. That's kind of the only thing we care about.
Still got half this moon to do though. We've got a Masamune altar, Crystal Sword altar, and K value. So we're checking the Crystal Sword. Or did he? No, he went from the ribbon room. I don't think Marten's done the Ogopogo spot, right?
Checked it. I don't think he finished it. No, because that was the Rubicante.
Oh, because it was Rubicon. Yeah, that was a very dangerous boss at that spot. So Evil Wall is not very nice either.
Mm-hmm.
At the Crystal Sword altar, that massive attack power. But if these edges know image, which will blink themselves, you just do that, or actually just use a Moon Veil. You've got them.
Yeah, this is the time to use a Moon Veil.
Marten's like, yep, my time is now. He's got 3 of them.
Yes, and we got a Tella on the hooker out. That sure is a character that exists in that location.
I think Zilch will take this Tella since he's anchoring with Kain. This is just basically a better anchor. He might not bother, and I mean that would be fine. You don't really need the utility anchor at this point. Yeah, there goes the Kain.
Yep.
Ella just serves this role better, basically. But yeah, Zilch gonna take this hook route. Depending on what's on this hook route, Zilch doesn't have the levels that Marten's getting, I believe. Doesn't have those levels. Might take a bit longer through this hook route as well. Now, Zilch does have a ton of like darts to throw. So
Right.
might not matter too much, but we'll see.
Those also may be the darts that Marten has been using. Just Artemis arrows at the Wyvern spot. So
That's
yeah,
a
we are
miss.
more zonks.
This is either K value, which neither runner has checked. We don't know what boss is there, or it's behind Rubicante at the Ogopogo altar, which Marten's like, I'm good.
No.
Nope.
We do still have K value, K Bahamut, that I think Marten is going to
Yeah.
head to right now. We have not peeked that at all.
Wow. If this is at the Ogopogo altar, that would be something.
Yeah, that would actually really play in Zilch's favor with Marten abandoning it for the time being.
Yeah.
That'll force him back as well.
Rosa, in the meanwhile, with Artemis Arrow, says, Pale Dim? Nah.
There was a dragon here once. It's gone now.
Oh yeah, I didn't even process that this hook route is a CPU. That's gross.
Mm-hmm.
This is 25,000 hit points of can't kill both orbs, or they will start to destroy your party. You can, but this is just tedious. This is tedium the fight.
It's not hard. It's just annoying. And over at Cave Bahamut, it's just Dark Elf.
This is imminently free. Marten can use that Hourglass, actually, pretty effectively against the second phase of the Dark Elf here. For some reason, perhaps programming error, when Dark Elf transforms into Dark Dragon, it loses the boss bit. But also, it just, we got levels, we got power. We'll just get through this.
Yeah, doing
Zilch,
7k a loop.
Yeah. Zilch, meanwhile, making use of the darts that he has against the CPU. Gonna get through this pretty quickly, all told. Marten using that Hourglass against the Dark Elf. It will no longer move. It might get one more attack and then it'll be done.
No, it doesn't. It is not allowed to attack anymore.
All right, for the drama of this seed, we need this to be a miss.
Package. Bahamut.
Bahamut. Vanilla. Kind of. Vanilla reward.
But yeah, this makes things really interesting. So it is down to one of those two fiends, either the one on the moon or the one on the earth.
Yeah, it's either the Marten and friends at the Leviathan altar, or at the Leviathan spot, or it's that Rubicante at the Ogopogo altar, which is terrifying without adamant armor. Because that spot has incredible magic attack stat, and he doesn't really have a good way. The way you do it is Zerk up and Cure Bomb with Rosa. It's not easy. Or throw all the darts in the world. That's actually another way through that.
That is a possibility.
But Marten's a gambling man and says, you know what? It's not there. It is not there. I am going to live and die by that, and we're going to turn this rat tail. And Marten, after doing Twin Harp, almost certainly is going to go check out Marten and Fred's before going back to that moon.
Oh,
that
definitely.
Altar is the very last thing he's going to do.
And I think the same is true for Zilch. I don't know, when Zilch goes back, is that going to be a top-down or a bottom-up play? I suspect a bottom-up play, which actually would get him the pink tail, and if Baron's at Ruby, would get him that key as well. that will be the more beneficial one.
Yeah, so speaking of adamant armor, actually, the pink tail, of course, on this flag set with adamant armors on, they normally aren't, but this tournament they are. The pink tail just rewards an adamant armor. That is the best armor in the game by miles. Offers incredible protection. If Marten does have to go back to the Ogopogo altar, that basically makes it free, but it's not free because it would cost him minutes to get back down there. But yeah, this is very, very, very close. I have no idea how this is going to close out.
Well, it looks like Zilch is going to take some eggs to get some XP in lieu of doing the entire moon.
Yeah, this tells me that Zilch is going to go play with Mylan and friends, banking on the fact that you don't have to touch that moon at all.
Which, unfortunately, you do for objective number 3, but...
For the pink tail.
Yeah, doesn't know that.
But if Mylan and friends has the Baron Key, and he can go do that, and then he could go just straight to the bottom, probably does the ribbon room, that'll be a miss unfortunately, but then does the white spear altar, that'll get him his pink tail. He will dodge the entire rest of that moon if he does that. Be a big advantage to him. But that Mylan and friends has to have the goods. We're meanwhile gonna get a reprise of that music.
I guess Marten is not a fan of Kingdom Hearts for how quickly he got through that fight. This does not want any of that music.
Yep. Again, for chat, that was Hollow Bastion from Kingdom Hearts. Mixed by Calm Lamity. Calm Lamity and now Xenocat are two harp aficionados, adding over 400 songs at this point, I think, to our Twin Harp.
It's a large amount of music.
That's a lot. A lot of them are incredible, too. Big, big, big shout out to both of them. Yeah, Xenocat in chat confirming over 400. Alright, so Zilch is at Mylan and friends. Mylan's losing his friends very quickly. We got one friend left, you know. It's one buddy. He's kind of hanging out.
But Marten is marching down through the Eblin Caves, just catching up on all the stuff that Zilch has done already.
To catch anyone up who's kind of caught in at this moment, Marten has done the entire moon except the Ogopogo altar, which had a Rubicante behind it. A boss that at the time that he looked at it, he wasn't equipped to take care of safely. And just said, you know what? I'm good. I'm not doing it. Zilch only did the Murasame altar. So Zilch is ahead on the Twin Harp and going through the hook route. But Marten has cleared much more of that moon. Marten has the pink tail from the White Spear altar, which Zilch needs to go acquire. That's where we're at. Mylan losing all of his friends. Gets one good punch in before he doesn't even get to talk about his body. He's out. He's done.
And leaving us a crystal sword.
Oh,
Rubicante.
it's
Rubicante.
Ruby. So normally this would be devastating for Zilch. However, Marten has faded that Ogopogo altar.
Mm-hmm.
And Marten is still almost certainly going to do that check. We still have a race.
Absolutely.
It's going to depend now on what Zilch does on that moon. Does he go to K value immediately, or does he go straight to the bottom?
I think, yeah, and I am very much not a racer. I play this casually at best. Zilch has a pass. Zilch is looking for key items specifically. You go bottom up. That has the key item density. You don't care about the boss. I mean, you're about to care about one of the bosses very much, but you don't care who the bosses actually are. You just need checks out of the way.
Yeah, Zilch needing the 2 key items, all the densities at the bottom. The other option is to do K value first. Maybe is like a counterplay-ish kind of option, but Zilch not going to do that. Zilch is going to play the key item odds, like you just said, and almost certainly going to head straight to the bottom.
I feel like doing just the Murasame altar and bailing, that was the counterplay.
Yeah.
And he's followed that through. You don't want to counterplay your counterplay. You assume based on what you did that either Marten did the exact same thing you did but faster, and just assume you're always behind, or that he played out the entire moon.
Yep. Now, chat pointing out that Ruby can only take out 2 party members at once. The glare part of his script, which just will kill somebody, it's a single target. The sort of like speed issue with Ruby is that you can't. It's very difficult to zerk against Ruby without like an Ice Claw, which I actually think Edge started with. That was his starting weapon, so it's something Marten could have utilized. You zerk 1 party member with an Ice Claw, and for Zilch and Masamune, for Marten it'd be a Ninja Sword or a Murasame. And sit on Rosa to heal up the counter.
But this is going to be a top-down play.
Yeah, we're going to the Crystal Sword altar. We know that this does not have the reward. There's also a tricky fight in the evil wall.
Yeah.
By tricky, I mean like a little time-consuming.
I don't even think there's anything after this that those Artemis arrows are valuable for. Is there?
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, so it's not even like you get value out of your Zonk. It's just Zonk.
So, I mean, this might be the sort of countering your counterplay moment. Like, this tells me Zilch feels behind. We did not go to where the density of the key items is. We went to a spot maybe that might have been faded in the Crystal Sword altar. Yeah, that evil wall, without a, like, starting up to, Zilch is going to have to take a moment to set up here. Ugh. This is sort of a you hate to see it moment. Zilch just bleeding time at this altar. He, of course, does not know that. The goods very easily could be here, but yeah, remembering those Moon Veils, just like, okay, let's just get a Moon Veil up, get zerked, get out of this. Marten, meanwhile, is done with the hook route, headed straight down to Mylan and Fred's, gonna find out that that's not the answer, and it's actually the one check that he faded.
You've got to wonder how he's going to feel when he puts the pieces of the puzzle together. It was not an unreasonable fade, but you've got to feel like, I shouldn't have done that. I was clearing out the moon. I should have stuck through and figured out a way to clear out the moon.
Yeah, the results-oriented mindset is, oh, I should have done that. I know Marten. Marten is a big fan of his gambles, and I know has the right mindset about that. Oh, also, noticing that Marten doesn't have that cursed ring, never looted these 2 chests. The left chest here has a cursed ring. That explains the Rydia
And he's never
anchor.
going to, is he?
Yeah, no, he's not at this point, and he doesn't need to. He has Tell as an anchor. He's good. But, funny callback. I know Marten. I know Marten's mindset. He will see that this has nothing, and he'll probably just sigh. There might be a button that he presses. You won't hear it, of course, but Marten likes his button. Probably press that, and just say, okay, yep, that's what happened, and then, just finish out the seed. He doesn't know that Zilch is on this wild goose chase. Like, that Zilch has had a somewhat, not unusual routing choice, but, like, you could expect, like, the most, I don't know about optimal, but the most typical thing to do would have just been to do the moon and then clear all of the moon. So, like, Marten probably at that point is going to think that he's losing, but you're never out of it until you're out of it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, now chat making a good point that having the adamant armor will make that ruby fight a lot easier. The thing is, while it does make that fight essentially free, it is a big time loss because you have to run all the way back down the lunar subterrane to the farthest boss at the Ogre altar, and then you have to leave because it's going to give the Baron key. So from like an efficiency standpoint, that is a fade. That is a, I need the Baron key to not be there. But yeah, Zilch now at the bottom of the moon. Ribbon room first. It's got the 2 key item checks in it. Gonna take on the Kanatsu. Smartly Zerks immediately and kind of gets going here. So Kanatsu doesn't. So Kanatsu is controlled essentially.
Yep. Still, ooh.
But still loses
knocks
his
a lot
party members.
down, yeah. I was expecting Edward to go down. I was not expecting Edge to go down too.
Gonna take a wipe, gonna reset it. No, I wonder if he's gonna go straight back in or if he's gonna go. No, turning the battle speed down, he's gonna go take that fight on again. Very reasonable. Marten now in Dwarf Castle. I think we want Bacchus wine? Is that what this was?
Yep. Just restock. Fill up the mini fridge.
I'm imagining wherever Edward hides to, that's where the portable fridge is.
So yeah, it's the practice space. If you've ever been in a band, that's exactly that tone.
The bag of holding, this is the mini fridge of holding. Chat pointing out there are ways to recover that fight where Zilch had lost his 2 party members. I don't blame Zilch for just sort of resetting it and saying, you know what, let's just set it up the right way instead of losing too much tempo, but recovering the fight versus just resetting, which saves more time, pretty hard to say, especially like in the moment where you're just like, oh my god, I just have to go. Zilch has to, let's see, Marten's back at the moon. Zilch has to get through this fight, do the white spear altar, do the ruby fight, has to turn in the pink tail, and then do the Baron key. I think Marten's ahead.
Oh, definitely. You would have to get through this and the white spear before Marten gets down there, and even then, it still has to make up the pink tail time.
Yeah, if Zilch had ran, I think this might come down to doing the crystal sword altar first. That might be about the time differential. It's a little hard to say for me right now, but
I mean, there's also the possibility of like the gear differences. Like Marten just might have faster fights, and that might come into play as well.
Well, Marten will certainly have a faster ruby fight. If he remembers that ice claw, you just put on good weapon, Ice Claw, Zerk up Edge, and just like put the controller down. Because fire 2s and glare will all of that will just deal 1 damage, even at that incredible magic attack spot, because of that property of the adamant armor.
Yep. Yep.
So he's certainly going to have a faster fight through that Rubicante. And he has to gun straight there. You pop in the save room here, and then you just go. Now, the real joke of the seed is when Cecil is going to show up at Baron Castle. I'm just waiting for it.
That's proper comedy right there. I may not know comedy, but that's comedy.
Seed's got jokes, what we like to say.
But here we go, Marten into the Rubicante fight. Throw up that Moon Veil. You might as well spend all of them.
Actually, Moon Veil was the other way through those. I think Glare... I don't think Glare goes through Star Veil, right?
I think Glare... Not... I'm obviously debating this notion with myself as I speak.
Glare goes through the... Glare does
Pierce? Okay.
I mean, this spot also punches, but...
But as we're saying, like, Fire 2 is reflectable, and will not heal Rubicante, so...
Which is amusing.
Yeah.
Why that is. But even without that, though, I mean... Well, at this point with Adamant Armor, like, the Adamant Armor just doesn't care. But you've got the Moon Veils, why not? It does protect the second edge, for sure. You get to fight with the 2 of them now. Now, if the one edge gets hit with the glare, so be it, I guess.
Well, and it nullifies any punches that he would do.
Yep. The Adamant Armor won't care about that, but the other edge certainly will. So yeah, the Moon Veils will speed this fight up. And thank you, chat, for having my back. I wasn't sure about Glare and the Moon Veil.
Hey, that is Zilch through the Ogopogo, getting the pink tail, and that is Marten through the Rubicante, getting the Baron key. Marten is in go mode.
Marten's just got to dip out. Got to walk out of here first to be able to exit. And then do the Baron key, and then head straight to Zeromus with the pass. This is Marten's game to lose at this point. Marten is far enough ahead, he'll have to either wipe to Zeromus or have a very, very rough time of it where he has to, like, spend a lot of time recovering.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Zilch does not have that Adamant Armor. Let's see how he reacts to finding out what boss is here. Yeah, seeing him pause a moment in his item menu going, oh god, how do I do this? I know I can do it, but what do I need to do?
Yeah, Ice Arrows might help. He do still have his 2 Moon Veils. Those are going to contribute. Oh, those Ice Arrows are doing work.
Ice Arrow is very helpful. Puts on that Ice Claw. Gonna swing. Except Edge is also now super, super dead.
Yeah.
This is the sort of issue with this fight. Yeah, you pick Edge up, but then as soon as you swing, Edge dies again, and you've only got really the one character who can both, like, pick up and heal.
Zilch is actually being quite kind of clever here. I think the counter... Does the counter not go... The counter would not go on the aim command. I have to imagine. That is what he's using. Yeah, it's just the fight command.
With the Ice Arrows on that Rosa, with the Artibo Ice Arrows doing a lot of work, and picking up party members because that's just... that's bait for Ruby. Edge doing his job valiantly, dying. Or not Edge, Tella doing his job valiantly.
Yeah, with the pace of attacks, I thought for a moment Rosa was zerked, but no, that's just spamming aim to avoid the counters.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Ruby only respond. Really, all the bosses that respond to. Most of them only respond to the fight command when it's about physical damage. Unlike the Pixel Remaster, which I learned. They don't have that restriction in the Pixel Remaster. They will respond to aim and whatnot. It was a fun surprise to learn.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Baron is ruled by an octopus, so that's cool.
Yep, swimming in concrete? It's probably not concrete. I don't know what this form is.
Stone, masonry.
But masonry, yeah.
The Great Masonry Sea.
I mean...
That's just going to be a phrase.
Octomam of the Great Masonry Sea.
Anyway, that fight's over. And it's Sid, not Cecil. Not as funny.
No, not at all. It's actually vanilla. This is where Sid normally you pick him up. Yeah. So Cecil's either on the moon or he's behind the package or the sound review, which we're about to get the package, probably. It might be at the Odin altar. Not that we're going to check it, but... Oh.
You put the child the wrong way. Child goes the other... It's like I just tried to build IKEA furniture.
And when you open the instructions and you're just like, there's like, what do I do with this? It's just pictures, like... Seed continuing to have jokes. It's another X-Cal.
Yeah, the package is in the basement, apparently.
Odin having it the entire time, is that like fake vanilla? Is that like...
At this point, we are going to some real kind of flavoring, so I don't know.
Doesn't matter though, because we're done with this seed. At least Martin is.
Yep. And with that pass in hand, we head straight over to Troya to take our express trip towards the Zeromus fight.
As this giant lunar whale descends upon Troya town.
It was like you're bringing just the giant truck into a little parking space. It's like, no, I can handle it. It's like, don't let Edge rent a U-Haul. But as we step on this pad, we get to go and visit our favorite cosplayer. As Zeromus has over 400, over 500, over 600, over several hundred possible looks. So, Solaris, would you like to ask the all-important question?
Yeah, the question we love to ask here at this point is, whose butt are we going to kick tonight? Scarlet Kitty, our resident art developer, letting us know, who's done the vast majority of the sprites. There are over 550 Zeromus sprites. So many.
Yes, several of them are cute. Several of them are terrifying. Several of them I don't recognize at all.
Some of them don't have butts. Some of them have many butts? I actually don't know if that's true or not, but...
There is at least one that does have multiple, but it's like multiple characters in one sprite.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that does it. Anyway, let's see what we have.
Not cute. Not cute. So all my brain sees, so this is Pueximus. I don't know the reference. I don't actually know what this is from. I don't know if this is what Puexil has gotten his name from. I don't know if it's related to... I'm sure chat will let me know what's going on here, but the thing that's really getting to me right now is that is this like sausages for a tongue? It's very terrifying, whatever this is.
Yeah, it really does feel like this is a skeleton having dinner. Which, I'm sorry we barged in, but we're gonna have to defeat you.
Yeah. Chat letting us know this is Puexel from Castlevania. I'm not actually familiar, but I am terrified.
I think that's the purpose of Castlevania villains and Castlevania
That's
enemies.
true.
To confuse and terrify.
Yep. I'm never gonna forget as a kid, Super Castlevania 4 on Super Nintendo, the instruction manual. I'm just thinking of enemies. By the way, this is the part where we would talk about like Zeromus and its difficulty, and I think Martin's got this under control. You've got the two Zerkers, you sit on Rosa to cure. They're doing a ton of damage. So instead, what I'm gonna talk about is Paula Abgul and the other Fred Scare are the names of these two like floating ghosts in Super Castlevania 4. That that pun has stuck with me my entire life.
I personally have not played much Castlevania. I played Bloodstained, which is close enough. But all I know about that entire franchise is that it's this weird mix of gothic horror and absurdly silly camp.
And incredible music.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Big Bang number 2 coming out for Martin. This is unnerfed, I believe, but yeah, it's not a concern. One more Cure 4 going to come out for safety, just in case media would cause a bad day. We'll get to the last part of this fight, and then Martin will be through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gets that in just in time to avoid well, I was going to say avoid a wombo combo, but the rocks missed everybody. Oh, and that is a crumble.
There we go. Marten Broadcloak has finished this race with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 9 seconds, beating out Zilch in a very close matchup, almost that entire way, just coming out of the very end. Some of the routing choices, which, you know, well played by both of these runners. GG's to Martin. And we'll see if Martin is available for an interview shortly. Zilch, meanwhile, you know, right behind, about to turn in that pass, gonna get in his Remus fight also.
I do believe I see a Martin here in the booth. Martin, if you can hear us, GG.
You know, boy, do I find
Martin.
new and exciting ways to make things interesting, don't I?
Uh-huh. Hi. So how you feeling?
One of these days I'll remember, hey, you know, I have moon veils in my inventory and I have an ice claw. Yeah, those would have been useful.
Against the Ruby, yeah.
Yeah,
But, you know, still...
you know.
But still, it might not have been there. It was, but, you know...
Yeah, that's 2 of 2 so far that I have last checked go mode. So, you know, I'm consistent, if anything else.
You know, consistency can be a virtue, or it can be a pain. But
also, yeah, that was the seed.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the honestly the major play between you two was that split of you staying on the moon for nearly the whole way. Zilch, as soon as he got to Murasame Altar, was like, "Nah, I'm out. I got other stuff to do."
That's fair. That's fair. I thought about maybe going to spy something, but it's like, I have a feeling there's something else up here. And then you see that Kinazo and you're like, oh. And then you see that Ruby and you're like, oh.
Yep. Even the Ogopogo, which at least that was weirdly the easiest of those that you had to deal with.
Yeah.
And Evil Wall.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a fun
and
moon.
Wall. Like, is there anything else up here? So, yeah, that was a moon. All the credit to Harum for rolling that one. So, I know he has a special place in his heart for required music, but I think that moon made up for it.
It really did.
Yeah.
So walk us through early game. Walk us through your like opening routing choices and going back for those Eblin traps. I'm very curious about that.
I was greedy. I mean the opening was pretty straightforward. It's like you see an edge, you're like, ooh, shiny. So not hitting, I kind of planned on hitting a trap in the first 2 towers, and then I didn't. So I'm like, huh, okay, I'll possibly come back later, and did the usual kind of overworld stuff and everything, and I got greedy. We had early forge, we had an Excalibur, and I'm like, well, maybe I can go get an adamant out of here. Like I know adamants are force multipliers, and I'm Martin RNG. I'm pretty good at finding shiny sticks and adamant armor. Didn't work this time, but that's okay. Dwarf, obviously, that second edge was huge, especially with ninja swords for sale right next door. It's like, I can make this work.
The rare moment where you actually have enough weaponry for 2 edges.
Yeah. Selling all my stuff, I'm like, wait, I can actually kind of afford. Hold on. Okay, yeah, this works. So, yeah, 2 of those. Not enough wine the first time, so hooray for me going back to Earth to buy some more. That was great. I did try. I was going to fight that Mylon if it was exactly Mylon Z the first time, because I had a full moon. So I'm like, I'll just dumpster a moon veil, and I'll never have to come back here ever again. Unfortunately, it was Mylon and friends. So yeah. But yeah, that moon. Wow. That moon was a treat. So I didn't know how much damage I could put out against Kainazo to see what that first wave was gonna fire for, and I just missed threshold the first time. Decided to go do the other altar, saw Ruby, part of me died inside. Go do an evil wall, because that's an improvement. And it's like, you know what? I'll change my mind. I've got the hook. I have a rat tail. Any of these could be Twin Heart, Baron Key. I'll fade Ruby. Like, okay. Well, if this is it, so be it. Go down, do all of Earth. Yeah, of course it's Ruby, because why wouldn't it be Ruby? So, yeah. Walking the LST twice. It's exercise.
And real quick, Zilch is also now through his Ramos fight. Big GG's to him. He is the loser. Zilch. He isn't the loser in this race, but it was very, very close the entire way through. Really only 5 minutes between in this version of the seed. But in an alternate world, we run the seed again, and Zilch easily could have been the winner. So big GG's for him.
Easily. Yeah. He is an amazing runner, and ever since ZZ4, where we got a face off, or I'm sorry, Lolly Ho. I was looking forward to this. When I saw him in our group, I was like, oh, I get a rematch. This is going to be excellent. So I've been looking forward to this one.
Oh, was it Lollyho, not ZZ4? I miscalled that then. Either way, I know you two had fought before.
It was last tournament. Yeah, that we met in the round 16, and then somebody decided to knock me out in the round of 8. I wonder who that was.
Hi.
Yeah. Look, I was not involved.
Hi.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how do you feel about the rest of your group?
It's a terrifying group. Like, when we saw the draft, I'm like, this is the group of death. Like, this is a literal buzzsaw of a group. So, I still have 3 matches to go. I'm excited about all 3, but I'm not excited about all 3, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. I feel the same. To let chat know, Martin and I are in the same group.
Yeah, I really need to get over that whole, hey, last check for go mode thing, because that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I may do it too.
Yeah, so.
But anyways.
But yeah, other than that, this was a lot of fun. So I strangely, no matter how terribly I played, I'm looking forward to watching the run back and seeing comms, obviously, from you and Hupfin. And thank you to both of you. Thank you to, I can't believe I have to say thank you, Harump. Thank you, Harump, for this seed. Thank you, Twisted Flax, for tracking. That took days off my life. It really did.
Well, go ahead and relax and go celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you once again. Like I said, I'm looking forward to watching the run back, and thank you for everyone here, and I appreciate it. And I will see you all Soon TM.
Yep. See you soon. All right, that was Martin. We're gonna see if we can get Zilch in now for an interview. And we have a Zilch. GG's, Zilch.
Thank you.
So the main split that we want to talk about was the approach to the moon. Going and doing the Murasame altar and then saying, nope, I've got enough other things to do. I'm going to bail. What was the train of thought that led to that?
It was more. I mean, it was possible the Earth chain from there through the rat tail could have just had everything I needed. I did the required part of the moon, so to speak. And the other option was I could have gotten adamant armor if I found the pink tail at least through that, and that would have made the moon much easier, theoretically. So that was the main reason why. And it was also like the first moon spot, so it wasn't like I committed to going deep into the moon.
Yeah, you went.
But yeah, I didn't feel like I would be losing too much time doing that, but maybe I did, since I lost like 5 minutes somewhere and Martin did more. So
I think it was a very reasonable chuck. That it was a good gamble. It didn't quite pay out the way you wanted it to, but there's a different world of different key item distribution where you get a pink tail and you just kind of accelerate your time through. I think the real big difference at the very end there was going to the Crystal Sword altar and finding out that moon was incredibly rude. It's like every single spot had a fight where both of you had to kind of stop and think about it.
yeah, I guess the Crystal Sword altar was probably like technically the easiest if you wanted to go the time-consuming way, since we had ribbons. So, and we had Eddie, you can just hide and then, but we don't have time for that. So just remember you have a moon veil and everything is free.
Yeah, I frequently forget those things exist in my inventory, for sure.
And then I was also trying to conserve Bacchus wine so I didn't have to go buy more. But yeah, it was definitely a rude moon all around.
Yeah, the opening of the game was so kind. It was giving you all the free bosses. You had to expect the rudeness somewhere. And just the rude lived on the moon today.
Yep. Give you an edge, a Rosa, and free bosses galore. Rune's definitely not required. No, definitely not.
I wanted to say I love your early game routing because Martin ran to Eblin Castle and you did not. And while Martin spiked a ton of really good loot there, I think you showed off quite well that you don't really have to do that. You found enough to get your seed accelerated enough, and you did check Watery Pass, looking for some stuff, and got a pretty useful Artemis bow out of that. But
yeah, at that point I had like no real damage other than Dancing Dagger, so I was kind of just hoping for Edge Weapon or something. And I mean, Artemis Bow, and then later finding the Artie Arrows and Heroine Robe was like, okay, Rose is all the damage I need for now. And
yeah, so even though it was a very divergent kind of opening, at least the looting is concerned, it still played out, and you didn't have to go to Dublin Castle. So I thought that was really well played there.
yeah, I mean, there's always the worry that there's just adamant armor sitting there, but
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't actually see any adamant armors besides the pink-tail one.
so Moon was just super rude with no adamant armors for the Moon, unless you went Ruby first and bailed.
Yeah, nobody's doing that.
And to be fair, the adamant armor wouldn't have even helped that much on like Ogo or Turtle. So
no.
But there was a point where I was fighting Ruby. I'm like, wait, I have a curse string. Do I have a way to get elemental? And I guess I didn't. I had a Dragoon armor. I don't actually know if Edge can wear those, but that could have been fun.
I think he cannot. He can wear the Samurai armor, but not the Dragoon stuff.
Okay.
But so, no.
Yeah, could have done the curse string adamant armor combo there, but no adamant armor because you got it through that fight.
Still, the way you got through that fight, really well done. That's your first game out of the way in your group, right? Or I guess in our group.
Yeah, that was my first game.
Yeah, how are you feeling about the rest of the group?
I mean, There's like Solaris, that should be a free one, and then everything else will be tough. Now, everyone in this group is great, so it's like, oh, all the groups really, but especially this group, so nothing's going to be free. Sucks to go 0-1 to start with such a difficult group, but hey, do what you can. But everyone's fun to play against, so definitely we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to watching, and I'm certainly looking forward to facing against you.
Yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah, I agree. All right, well, that's it for me. You got any other questions, Hupfin?
No, I'm just enjoying sitting here like in between all of the smack talk of the Ogre Axe group. It's very very endearing. I'm glad to hear everyone's enjoying their participation in the Adamant Cup thus far.
Smack talk, what is that?
It's when you make a joke that's so good you gotta smack your knee.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, thanks for commentary and tracking and restreaming. Looking forward to watching it back.
And thank you, Zilch. It was such a pleasure to watch and commentate for you.
Thanks.
All right, but with that, we are done with this broadcast. I'll thank Marten and Zilch again for participating, being willing to be restreamed this evening. And thanks to Harumph for taking care of the restream itself and Twisted Flax on the tracking.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as free enterprise racing goes, we do have currently going, I don't know if it's finished or not, chat, but Ascorian versus Roddy Sniper is at the same time slot that this race was, not restreamed. And then this is where we would tell you what upcoming matches are, but we're coming into the next week. Monday is a break day for the racers and for restreamers. There might be a couple of races still going that day, but things will really pick up back into gear come next Tuesday with many more matches, so definitely look forward to that. Oh, and I see us going chat. So yeah, that race is done. So that is the end of Free Enterprise Adamant Cup racing for the moment, but you know, blink and it'll all be right back again.
Yep, and after this, though, we are going to go and raid Gemini Hero, one of our Adamant Cup participants who is doing a bit of practice.
In our Ogre Axe group.
Yeah.
Another Ogre Axe group member.
So very much do not spoil. Don't want to give them any clues about their opponents.
Absolutely. No spoilers, chat. But, you know, for now, this was so much fun to do with you, Hupfin. That was a blast.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And, you know, thank you all for hanging out and for watching. And we'll see you. We'll see plenty more on Tuesday and the rest of the week. But take Monday off. You deserve it.
Yep, but Monday scheduling opens next week's Monday, and we'll be pinging folks. Scala's letting us know that. So be prepared for that. But otherwise, yep, that's it for us, and y'all have a good one.